I am 2 months into my MBA program. I started in September, uh, virtually at NYU Stern. So I've worked at Microsoft for the past 8 years, and this decision to pursue an MBA degree was really all about learning for me. I wanted to round out the business knowledge that I need or that I'm seeing the need for as I accelerate and move up in the company. And having an undergrad in engineering, I can identify core concepts that I've missed out studying that I'm looking to gain as I advance up in the company. And also, as I look to keep my career at Microsoft for many years to come, I'm aware of the fact that I don't want to have all of my learning be within the company. I wanted to expand the people that I work with and the things that I work on outside of the virtual four walls of Microsoft. And so I wanted to learn outside in a way where I can bring back learnings from outside of the world back into the company to help us grow and learn and advance and innovate in different ways. So networking is very important to me, both in terms of expanding my network outside of Microsoft, and then also just connecting with people who share similar interests, potentially not on a business level, but in terms of social justice or just common interests that we have in the world. And at NYU, I've gone about it primarily through clubs. So Outclass is a great example of a club that I'm a part of. It's one of the reasons why I joined. They had a recruiting event that got my attention and got to meet a ton of great people in it, and have kept up those relationships. And what's nice about that is clubs bring together people from all different tracks at Stern, and all different years, and you all come together and get to learn from one another and also work on things outside of the MBA program that you're passionate about. So I'm only in 2 classes since I just started. So I would be biased if I said I have a favorite because it would sound like the other one's not as good. So I'll just tell you a bit about the 2 that I'm in and things that I like about them. Um, the first is leadership in organizations, and the second is accounting. And I think what I learned about both of these courses that I didn't expect was how relevant the information is to me now that I have the context of having worked at a company for 8 years and taking these concepts and thinking about them in the context of my work. So a great example is I've taken accounting in undergrad, and I studied the textbooks, learned the formulas, plugged and chugged, and got my way through it, and kind of just memorized concepts to do a test. And now as I go back through accounting and I'm learning these concepts, I'm seeing the importance of these things and how it runs our business at Microsoft. And so there's a whole new level of understanding and empathy. And it's the same with learning in organizations. When you learn about the principles and ways that leaders lead, all the way from visionary leaders to operational leaders, I can identify those with people that I've seen in the workplace to kind of break down their leadership style. And in that process, understand how I might see mind shaping in the future. My biggest challenge with the program so far has been the virtual fatigue. I am in the part-time Langone program, and with everyone and everything moving virtually, I spend Monday to Friday online at work connecting with colleagues, and then hop online again on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And so it adds a layer of additional virtual work to be done. And there's just a fatigue that comes with that. And so trying to keep up the high energy, the networking, the enthusiasm on a Saturday online in your living room is a little tough. But I think what helps out there is, one, this isn't forever, and we know that it's only a matter of time before we're back in person with one another. And two, I think the virtualness of it all is allowing us to connect in different ways and spend more time with professors, for example, because they're way more open to being able to connect offline, and they're doing everything that they can to to make sure that we're all still getting the same experience and attention as we would in person. And so, as much as there are downsides and it's making it challenging, there are upsides that we wouldn't have had it not been for the state that we're in. I'll give you my honest answer on it. I am watching a lot of Parks and Recreation. Um, Sometimes I'd like to say that I watch the news or I'm keeping up on what's going on in the business world, but between working full time and then hopping into more classes, my go-to on TV is just something that where I can shut my mind off and that's happy and joyful and everything Leslie Knope. From a reading perspective, what I am reading is obviously all of the course material. And I'm not a real book reader, but one of the books that I am halfway through and loving is a book called A Most Beautiful Thing. And it's a true story about America's first all-Black high school rowing team. And it was recommended to me by one of our leaders at Microsoft. And it was kind of at a time when I was trying to understand my point of view on the social injustice that we're seeing, um, and as she recommended it, it was just at a time when I was looking for something to grab onto, and then bought it on Amazon as soon as she said it, and started reading and fell in love with it. And so if you're looking for a book to read, I highly recommend it. It's so well written, and it takes you into the world of growing up in the South Side of Chicago and what that means and the adversity that some of those individuals have to overcome. So the best way to connect with me is always going to be through LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn for its ability to connect people. I'd add to that, however, that if you are trying to connect not just with me, but with anyone, the adding a personal note to an invitation goes a very long way. And even if it's as simple as, hey, I saw your video and I had a question, or we connected once at this conference and I'd love to stay connected with you, it adds a personal touch that elevates yourself from all of the other invitations that someone might be receiving. And so highly encouraged to connect on LinkedIn. Please add a little note so I know how we've met, even if it's virtually, and looking forward to meeting you.
Thank you, Chris, for interviewing with us. We really appreciate it, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.